Hey, I'm Christiana, and if you could just please state your first and last name for me, as well as the name of the project.
My name is Scott Deschaine, and my project tonight is DRACULAW.
Yes.
Okay.
The inspiration behind DRACULAW. Tell us a little about it.
I've always loved the balance of horror and comedy. There's a little bit of comedy and horror, and there's a little bit of horror and comedy. And I wanted to do something that was like a fun roller coaster ride, like a haunted house ride that you might find in a fair. So,
And where was the location of the filming taking place?
almost all of it was shot in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, which is in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So we took advantage of some notable local landmarks. There were some historic castles in which we filmed. There were some great natural scenes. We filmed at a footbridge over the Delaware River that was designed by the fella that designed the Brooklyn Bridge. So it's a pedestrian bridge over a giant river. It looks like a mini Brooklyn Bridge.
Very nice. And were there any specific challenges that arose during filming that you felt like you overcame?
Well, the whole process is like solving problems. There were a lot of challenges. The first one, of course, was financing. But it was interesting because I'm a big believer in listening to the signs. And it was, as we went through production, every step something fell into place to move the financing forward. So I was like, okay, you're stupid enough to keep doing this, let's keep going. So yeah, and then one huge challenge was the movie's about a lawyer who is a vampire, but he takes people's time instead of taking their blood.
Oh.
So one of the biggest challenges we faced was we had set up a courtroom location for the big climatic courtroom scene. And at the last minute, it was torpedoed by a lawyer.
Oh, no.
So we had all the crew was all ready to go, all the production people were ready to go, everything was ready to go. And like 2 weeks before, we were told, you can't film there. So we had to scramble to find another courtroom, but we found a better courtroom, which had a much better look.
It worked out eventually, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you'd like to thank that helped you in particular with this process?
I'd like to thank all the cast and crew. They were all so wonderful. They gave so much to the project, more than I expected. In fact, that became a huge part of the obligation to finish the film. Was everybody had done such great work. It was, a huge responsibility to actually bring it to conclusion.
I completely understand there. Is there anything else in the pipeline that you're working on?
Yes, we're working on a Christmas movie now. So it's a different take on Christmas, a different take on Santa Claus. Santa Claus is kind of a wild man. He goes kind of like the ancient pagan traditions. And it's strictly more like a comedy, sort of, action, lots of funny physical comedy and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
If there's any film position that you choose to, work in for the rest of your film career, what would it be if you had to choose?
As in what part of the production crew?
Any part.
No, I like writing and directing. It's a lot of fun. I mean, the narrative storytelling, seeing something progress from an idea, to come into focus through the whole production process. It's an amazing feeling. It's kind of it's really exhilarating to watch your ideas sort of come to life. It's really exciting.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything that you'd like to say to Grayson and Ryan?
Oh, I can't thank Grayson and Ryan enough. They've put on a great festival. They're to be commended for their persistence and their vision in bringing the whole We Regret to Inform You film festival to life. I hope they have a great, successful festival and they repeat it many times.
Yes. And if there's just one thing you can do for me, if you can look into that lens and say, I came and I regret nothing.
I came and I regret nothing.